In Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
The aftermath of every social revolution brings about change. Cultural norms and landmarks shift as our minds and hearts expand beyond the familiar. To everything, there is a season and a time to every purpose in the land of the living. This is our time to renew, revive, and restore the hope lost to the busyness of life. This is our time to dig again and rebuild from the storms of our past on a solid footing that holds. Welcome to The Foundation.
The Foundation. Foundation.
The Foundation of Hearts Grant is brought to you by Alive, Ball for Bones, Burger King, Commonwealth Bank, Epic Battery, Grand Bahama News, Marco's Pizza, and Printmasters.
The Foundation. Foundation. The Foundation. The Foundation.
Get ready to wait, 'cause it's raining time. Get ready to move, it's all about you. Hey, gal, back it up. Get ready to whine, whine, whine. Girl, you nice, and your body sexy. I will give you a house and a car and some of my money. Hey, yeah. Just to see you wind your waist. Cause commotion in this place. Coca-Cola bottle shape. Turn around, don't hesitate and me.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. 96.9 FM radio is summertime. Excited to be with you, ladies and gentlemen, chopping the thing down. It's a beautiful day. Always grateful to be in your company right now as we chop the thing down on Wednesday. You know, I got my people in the house with me. Being able to do all we can do to be able to talk about national issues. I am grateful to be in your company. Got to shout out my good, decent people over at University of the Bahamas. They want to let you know, attention all fall and 2024 applicants to the University of the Bahamas. The new academic year is fast approaching. The University of the Bahamas is thrilled to welcome you back for fall 2024. If you started the online application, now is the time to submit all the outstanding supporting documents. Make sure you send your transactions and copies of relevant passport pages urgently to secure your acceptance to University of the Bahamas, the UB, all right? So it says that your application must be fully processed. Remember to keep the checking on your emails and the important updates and reminders. Orientation and advisement for new students kicks off on Wednesday, next week Wednesday, August 7th, and classes begin on Monday, August 19th. This message is brought to you by University of the Bahamas and the Office of the Recruitment and Admissions. Guys, I got to be able to shout those good people. I want to talk about this, though. I mean, you're just like my church. I feel like they lackadaisical. You're lackadaisical. You don't know you were going back to school. They got to tell you, hey, listen, you're going back to school. It's too much. Let's have this kind of a conversation. Shout out to my good, decent people over at AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers. They got everything laid out for you. Make sure you go and check them out. If you're in the market for sort of a bulk, whether it's individual, whether it's residential or commercial insurance, make sure you go and check out AFS Insurance Agents and Brokers, located number 407 Blue Hill Road South. Give them a call at 341-1AFS, 341-1AFS. They can take very good care of you if you get your SDs, your taxis, your liveries, or your individual cars. If you get your residential stuff and your own personal usage, they can be able to take care of you. Actually, my good friend Ethric Bow, he can take very, very good care of you. And they're open 9 to 5 and 9 to 2 on Saturday. Right, guys, check out the Guardian newspaper, man. All the information's in there. We see there's another murder last night, and we're chopping those particular things down, just being able to look at the Nassau Guardian paper. It says, man shot dead in Fox Hill, right? I won't talk about this. I got to talk just a little bit about this. Family claims that Oral Roberts recently questioned by police. Now, did you watch the thing last night, right? I'm in the studio with my good friend, Garth Roseborough. Garth, say good afternoon to the people out there so we could dive right into this.
Oh, I don't know if it's a great afternoon for everyone, but I'm having a super, super, super day. We have some good weather outside here in the Bahamas. A bit warm, but, fresh breeze blowing. And even though we've had some tragedies yesterday, I'm always positive coming here with you today, Howard Grant and the Guardian staff, to just shine some good light on our nation and continue to build.
As I sit here and I watch this, right? As I watch all these things happen in the country, yesterday was very strong. The mother couldn't take it anymore. She said that she was sitting down. Her son was sitting down on the porch. Just tell her, "Mommy, again, put something on on Facebook. I can put something on because the baby, his oldest boy or his oldest child, is celebrating a birthday." And so he said, "Mommy, I can put little posts up on Facebook for the baby." And she said, "He just buy me some Subway." That's what she said. So he just buy me some Subway. We get one sandwich. I go on inside. I hear all these shots. I come. I say, "Oh, you hear all that shot? Oral in the street dead." That's what she say.
Just bought her some Subway.
Just buy her some Subway. Sit down with mommy.
Did a good deed for his mommy.
He love his mommy. Take good care of him. He's sitting down with his mommy. If he can sit down and tell his mother, "Mommy, I about to do this on Facebook," I believe they have an intimate relationship.
Yes,
right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So now, as he's saying this, and she's sitting on this, and I could see the frustration, and I could see that kind of, this was the straw that broke the camel's back. You didn't have to kill my son. Then she starts to go on how he was questioned, never gave a voluntary bill of indictment. Why would you all put on this ankle bracelet on him? He had no affiliations with this, so forth and so on. Why you all killed my boy? They said that it was police officers. This is the allegations now. Now, if you watch it, you watch it. They said it was she. This is what she says. They said it was police officers. Now, I would play it for you, but I feel like, I don't want to kind of get into that, right?
Well, I heard someone mention something of this note yesterday. I was actually in that very same area, but I happened to have been at the Simpson Penn School for Boys. And Howard, I had a great time with all this negative news that we're hearing. And the one thing I like about you, you're always able to post something positive and pour it into the nation. And when you speak of this tragedy that took place in Fox Hill, I know it touches your heart. I know sometimes you look at me and say, "God, I'm so tired," and we're so tired. But Howard, I want you to understand that as we go into the story today, I'm going to encourage you personally to continue to be strong, continue to keep your head level. The nation is listening to you. There are a group of boys at the Simpson Penn School, Howard Grant. I was very, very, very encouraged yesterday to see those young men who were courteous, they were cordial. The talent there, I saw them doing some artwork there yesterday, Howard Grant. I understand that their exam scores are higher than they used to be. Howard, I see the nation building as a result of the work of you and other people in this country. And so as we delve into this story today, Howard, I'd like to just give that shout out and show appreciation to the staff at the Simpson Penn School for boys. I'm sure there's a female school there as well, right? That deals with young troubled girls. Yeah. But this trouble that we're seeing every day in our newspapers, I see you have homicide, you have some situation where it may have been domestic violence. Listen, man, Howard Grant is here, the foundation is here, because we believe that we can reset this nation, get this nation back on a good footing. And this story here, Howard, was just troubling last night to hear of another person losing their life violently in the streets of New Providence and in the Fox Hill community, a community that has been through a whole lot, Howard Grant. If you look at the history of Fox Hill, it's not been a very pleasant one in late times. And so, Fox Hill, if you're listening to the voice of Howard Grant today, have your friends to tune in 96.9 FM. He will throw the numbers out there to you. But, there has to be a solution to all that's going on in our country and especially in the Foxville community.
I won't be able to say something. Okay, so I look at things in a peculiar manner.
Yeah, you're
right?
different. You're different back.
Yeah.
I don't
see what is being
ordinarily
shown.
Okay.
Right? And so I look at this and I hear the cry of this mother, right? And I listen to her.
Mm-hmm.
And she started to talk about her and her father and so forth and so on. I listened to her, right? And I could see the frustration. I could see that she didn't care. Come kill me too. That's almost the kind of posture that she had. I don't care. I've had enough. I'm going to say what I got to say. Come deal with me. If that's the particular
she was
case. This is a lot.
She was a bit loose.
I don't know if it was loose. She just lost a son who she loved.
But she said that, she ain't scared to say what she had to say. So she's going to say it. So to me, that was being a bit loose.
But it goes deeper than this for me. It goes deeper, and I won't be able to read just a little small biography on Oral Roberts. Just a little small.
You have that?
Yeah, I'm going to read it right now. It says, Oral Roberts Godville is his first name, but this is not the gentleman's first name. He started to go on. It says it was an American charismatic Christian televangelist who was one of the first to propagate prosperity gospel theology. He was ordained in the Pentecostal Holy Church until 1947, the United Methodist Church, briefly in 1960s. He is considered one of the forerunners of the charismatic movement, and at the height of his career was one of the most recognized preachers in the United States of America. I'm trying to get something. These people named their child Oral.
But you just threw me off just now because I thought you had his biography. You going away too.
I got to throw you off.
This Bible stomping preacher in the United States named Oral Roberts.
Now watch me.
I listening.
Watch me. I can get deep.
Be careful because I get religious quick.
Let's do it. Let's go. Right?
Okay, don't fool with me today, Howard Grant. Not today.
We know what's wrapped in a name. When the mother identified their child and he popped out and they gave him the name Oral because they knew he was already a Roberts. They gave him the name Oral. That was with expectation for growth. That was with expectation for purpose. I'm telling you, they didn't just casually name him Oral. They could have named him
He could have been after a grandparent or something,
His name is Oral.
Yes.
We know from 1918 when Oral was born, and we know the Oral Roberts University, the theologic aspect. I'm simply saying that we are eradicating the potential of the next generation. I just want to say that was going to be
the one good thing I like what you said is the power in the name. That's the only thing I like what you said.
Watch me.
I would never name my child after Oral Roberts. If I was a Roberts, the last person on God's earth I'd name my child is Oral Roberts.
That ain't have nothing to do with what happened.
It has something to do with it. Because if you talk about the power in the name and the spirit in the name, this lines right up for me.
Now let's be decent.
I being decent.
Now let's be decent.
You know who Oral Roberts really was, eh?
We're getting deep into that. I'm simply saying to you the potential and the position that Oral Roberts held that causes persons to gravitate to him even now and his university, even now. The legacy that existed in this particular space, it says to me that there was potential that existed in Oral Roberts who has been snuffed out last night. And all I saw was the potential of the next generation, despite their mistakes that they make today. And you know what? Let's get a little deeper. The Tribune has gone deep today. The Tribune has gone very deep today.
Well, you don't know. Go ahead.
The Tribune has gone deep today. Third $1.5 million airport raid suspect killed. That is bananas. That is absolutely bananas. Then it goes on to say, mother says victim questioned by police and voice notes probe. Oral Roberts was third man linked to robbery to be murdered. Victim allegedly told the police not to talk to any other officers. This is spread wide, far and wide, in the front of the Tribune paper. And it leads us to speculate as a society. Have we become a rogue society? Has everybody gone to AWOL? Have we loosed and kind of cast aside the convictions that hold us together?
I heard you and Preacher Roll talking on Monday about this conviction and this religious idea and the offense at the Olympics. And I'm trying to really wrap my head around where do we get this sanctity from in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Bible was written in the 1700s, right? 1600s, 1700s, right? Christopher Columbus discovered this place in 1492. They had no Bible back then. But we keep on claiming this Christian nation thing, eh? And then when we talk about Christianity, Howard Grant, you got so many different forms of Christianity. Everybody believe what they want to believe. You got Catholic, Anglican, Presbyterian, Church of God of Prophecy. You got Baptist, Anabaptist, Seventh-day Baptist. You got Church of God, Seventh-day. You got how much church you can have, Pentecostal, jumper, this to that to that. So when you talk about Christianity and commitment to what, we got a confused nation. We don't even really understand. We have this one God, one Father, one Son, one Holy Ghost, one kingdom of God. And we ain't got no one church. But when you look at Hinduism, you look at Buddhism, you look at all these other faiths, they got their stuff together. They are together.
What
I'm saying to you is that you talk about this conviction, this commitment. I'm asking you, when the average person like a young Oral Roberts grows up with the potential that you spoke about, and we look at our nation and we see so much confusion, when you tell me about who God is to you, and I'm getting 10 different stories in the community, that I'm looking at the lifestyle of the Bahamian people, who show no commitment to God whatsoever, because you got sweetheart over here, you got this one thiefing over here, you got this one taking tips on the job. I mean, it's just so much activity going around in our country, Howard. What I like about your program, the foundation, is we can get to the truth and we can get to the root of all of this. We need to be a serious people. I do not, at this time, feel as if we've been serious until I went to the Boys and Girls Industrial School yesterday. I said, well, my God, this is what Howard is talking about. Howard is talking about getting down to the foundation, getting down to the base, getting down to the children, getting down to the youth, sacrificing, putting in time, putting in extra hours, a commitment to building character. Yesterday, I had an epiphany. But when I look at the people like Oral Roberts, have we dropped the ball on people like this?
Yes, that's all I say.
That's all you're saying?
That's all I say. All I'm saying to you is that beyond dropping the ball, we have determined that he's a criminal. Beyond dropping the ball, based upon an assessment, based upon how you're evaluated and identified, based upon your particular movements, that you're suspected to be a criminal. And that ain't just Oral Roberts, you know.
You want me to be decent, right?
Yeah, if you want to be decent today, you can try.
I could be truthful?
Go ahead, I'm not going to fight you.
When you said Oral Roberts even into the biography, I thought you had this man from Fox Hills biography.
No, I only showed you the potential of the biography that could exist in this particular space that we have snuffed out.
And you did a great job.
And the legacy ain't even exist no more.
But you did a great job. You did a great job. But where you threw me for a loop, you saw I got emotional on this microphone right away. The only thing I remember from Oral Roberts, other than that good preaching he used to do, was when he said he going up in the tower. And if y'all don't send this $1 million to him right now, he going home to Jesus. You remember that? Or you was too young? See, that's a crook. Man, listen, you're running me hot now. That's a crook. Because all your life you've been preaching about this Jesus and this God and going to heaven one day, and then all of a sudden now you scared to go to heaven, so you need $1 million to stop going to heaven? Man, if you tell me I'm going to heaven today, I don't need no money. Let me go. But you preach, see, this is what I talk about, that whole confusion in Christianity. See, what you call the Islam fella, the Muslim fella? When you talk about going to Nirvana or going to heaven today, what they do? Blow themselves up, they ready to go. But Christians
they got 77 virgins waiting on them.
Yes.
That sounds like hell in
talk
itself.
About, I can't wait to get to heaven when I get to heaven. And then we say, you know what? Boy, this is your last breath. What? You can't do nothing else to save me? Come on, man. This is the type of religion we talking about today, Howard Grant. The commitment to young people. When young people see this inconsistency, how could they truly believe? When you go to church, they need your tithe, they need your offering, they need all these things from you. Ain't nothing coming back to help young Oral Roberts to stop being a crook. You named the child Oral already.
It's heavy what you're saying.
Man, my heart is heavy today, Howard Grant. You know which crooked preachers we got in the Bahamas? You know all of them ain't straight.
We can't. Well, they ain't straight.
All of them ain't straight.
In many ways.
I know plenty of them who ain't straight.
They ain't straight in terms of the straight and narrow, and they ain't straight
They ain't straight.
My God.
Thank you, Jesus.
You're doing a lot.
My heart is heavy.
You're getting heavy today.
See, we want to complain about these behaviors in our society, and then y'all want to get heavy on the police. But the police has been members of churches too. And I always get on the pastors in this country because it is the church that boasts about this whole breaking down, the part of breaking the jar and putting it back together again, and how God could restore you. And when you fall down, you can get back up. Where those preachers went to? Where those preachers gone? Oral Roberts, they ain't had none. Not effective enough to keep him on the streets. Not effective enough to keep him from the hands of the police.
You mean preacher?
And, the church.
He had no preacher. He had no church.
You say Christian nation. You say Christian nation, so let's have a Christian conversation then.
Let's be decent. Guys, the lines are wide open. Please be a part of the conversation. When we get back, I'm going to throw out the numbers. I want you to be able to join in. Let me take a quick commercial break and be right back after this.
The foundation.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Bonneville Bones, established in 1970, is the leader in men's fashion in the Bahamas. We're conveniently located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza, and fully stocked with everything you need for all occasions. Our Harbor Bay location is one door north of Alive, with the black and white signage of Bonneville Boutique. Both locations are open from 10 to 7 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Bonneville Bones and Bonneville Boutique, still the leader in men's fashion. Located in the mall at Marathon and the Harbor Bay Shopping Plaza.
The Guardian Media Group has your ticket to Paris.
On your marks, get set, go!
Join the Guardian Media Group, Star 106 Hits, Guardian Radio 96.9, and Hot 91 FM. And follow Team Bahamas from paradise to Paris. Live comprehensive updates on Team Bahamas every day during the 2024 Summer Olympics. We are your ticket to Paris. Nassau Guardian Sports Editor Sheldon Longley will be trackside, bringing you closest to our athletes in their quest for gold. From paradise to Paris. The 2024 Summer Olympics live updates brought to you by gold sponsors, the Bahamas Ministry of Tourism, Jimmy Wines and Spirits, distributors of refreshing Sands beer, silver sponsor Executive Motors, and the bronze sponsors Hertz Rent-A-Car, Nagico Insurance, Bay Street Garage, Nassau Motors, your Chevy and Honda dealers, and New Life Natural. Let the games begin.
Stephen Gardner alongside 100-meter hurdler Devon Charlton.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company. The lines are wide open. Please be a part of the conversation today. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands, 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. It's a beautiful day here in the studio with none other than Garth Roseborough, just being able to talk about these issues that exist in this country. The issues that are being, it seems to be perpetuated and amplified from one thing to another. We're looking at geopolitics. We're looking at local politics. We're trying to find our footing, understanding where do we fit in this particular space. There are elephants having major conversations about transition and how the world's going to go and how the money's going to happen. And we're trying to figure out how do we now navigate ourselves. There are prophetic releases that says there's going to be big floods coming to Nassau, that there's going to be a shift happening here. There's all these things. You got to buy your vest. You got to do this. Where do we fit as it relates to the only thing that we've ever known, which is survival? Where do we fit in this space of survival? Will we survive this economic apocalypse? Will we survive this actual apocalypse? Will we survive the tribulations that's coming down? Because it seems as though we're targeted. It seems as though there is an agenda afoot to be able to eradicate those with no voice, with great aspirations, great desires to be able to move forward and make some things happen, but they got no voice. So let's talk about these things. I want to be able to know where we are and where we're going. These allegations last night were strong.
That's a good question, Howard.
The allegations last night was very strong. And, as the Tribune indicates, I got to be very clear, right? The allegations and the speculations, and very bold in the Tribune paper, that says that the third $1.5 million airport raid suspect is killed. And I the people ain't telling me they collect 50 cents yet.
1.5 ain't a lot of money, Howard.
But Jesus, you got that sitting down, and the people say only $500 for the average Bahamian in their account.
Mm-hmm.
If you put 1,499,950 cents and $500, then the fact of the matter is this bump. That's a lot of money to Bahamian people.
Yeah.
That's a piece of property. That's 2 Hondas. Let's be very clear.
You see how the money's spending already? I'm listening to you.
Ain't no money gone. The money gone.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say to you. It's not a lot of
The
money.
$1.5 million that obviously that you was pursuing to ensure that you could find information. We
between
get
how many people?
no information.
No.
We get no money. All we get is a tape.
And a story.
Peppered
That's it.
with allegations, speculations, and now they're telling us it's possibly AI, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. All these things we're getting. So all we have now is a hand of smoke. But the fire ain't far. Where is the fire?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to tell you with life. This
Now
is
we're
life.
looking at this story and we're looking far and wide trying to figure out, okay, there's allegations that this is the third suspect. If you listen to the tape,
This is allegation.
these are only allegations. If you listen to the tape and then you read the papers and you read these particular things and you start to count off, you say, okay, I thought it was 4. If 3 gone, where is the money?
Not one person.
Because a dead man can't spend no money. I can't get no amen. A dead man don't tell no tale. A dead man can't spend no money. And he can't take nothing with him.
Okay.
Where is the money? The chief of police has come out about a week or so ago and show us all sorts of guns. We've seen guns before. But you ain't show us one suspect. You ain't show us no one associated with it. You ain't show us a stack of crinkled cash what was juked down in the corner with dirt on it to say we find this. We see nothing except guns.
Howard.
We see these, and this ain't even the actual guns. He said guns like this is used. So where the actual, man, I am
So
confused.
you don't see no money with these guns?
We ain't see no money.
Not even 50 cents on the
This
floor.
ain't even the guns that was used. These are guns like this. These are the guns like this. So my question is, what are we doing?
You think the average Bahamian really cares?
The average Bahamian cares about the fact that the allegations of corruption seem to be getting deeper and deeper within the Royal Bahamas Police Force. That's what the average person cares about.
But you think they're surprised at that?
I think we've done away with the concept and idea of money, and we ever can find the $1.5 million within our heart of hearts. We know that gone.
That gone a long time.
We know that gone.
Uh-huh.
You understand? And so the average person with their speculation right now and with the theories that continues to be able to float about is saying things like maybe this is to be able to take care of the loose ends. Whoever the person's associated with this, it's possible.
Okay. I'm listening to you. People call in, talk to
The
Howard.
lines went right up.
Yeah, talk. Okay, I let Howard answer the calls because I'm trying to figure out what is the resolve, what is the end game
There's
that
no
the Bahamian
resolve.
people would like to really see as a result of all of these happenings.
The
But I'll
Bahamian
let you go to the
people would
phones.
like to see 15 people, whether that's police officers, whether that's lawyers, whether that's whoever these particular persons are. They would like to see the grouping shackled together with their head hung low.
For what purpose?
For the purposes of being able to say that we are eradicating even the perception, the whiff, the scent of corruption from the integrity of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. That's what they want. That's what we want to see.
I don't want to see that.
Well, what you want to see?
I want to see necks. I want to see rope. I want to see niggas gone. I want them finished. When you continue to have all this murder in this country and all this killing in this country.
Yeah, but vigilante murder ain't get solved.
I don't want
nothing.
vigilante.
Yeah, but this is what's happening
I
now.
talk
This
about
is these
death penalty.
rogue. This is rogue.
No, I need death penalty because you see, we keep on playing hopscotch around this whole idea of justice.
But South Carolina just they reinstated the death penalty.
got to.
And you know what they say?
You have to.
They say lethal injection and death by fire squad. which
I'll
is
take it.
wild.
I'll take it.
Which is big wild.
I will take it today
That's wild.
because no one is taking this system
I
seriously.
hope these people watching what's going on in this
around the world. I want them to understand.
Listen, in certain states, they're indicating that you got to put the Bible back in the classroom. All of these are the Bible states. All these are the Bible belts.
Okay.
Okay? In Louisiana, they're saying you got to be able to put the thing back in there. In Louisiana, they're saying that you got to be able to put the Ten Commandments back in the classroom. In other states, they're indicating that you have to take on this kind of position, that you got to read the Bible to these students. And now South Carolina saying, not only are we reinstating the death penalty,
You're disgusting. Go ahead.
right?
Uh-huh.
They saying now we're killing you by fire squad. That is bananas. Some things are happening in the world, and if you stay asleep, my God, you may get takeout in the night. Let's be decent.
They say in God we trust. That's what they say up north. So
And all of this fake cash.
okay, and
My
so here in the
God.
Bahamas, I want to know what you're thinking. You say it's a Christian nation. Let's do this.
Well, let me take this quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. Be right back after this.
The foundation.
Looking for great device deals and offers this summer? Look no further. Alive has special discounts on the latest smartphones, Ring devices, and accessories. Plus, as an Alive customer, you can expect exclusive Get Extra offers and rewards, which means even more value for your money. We're talking more data, prizes, and surprises. Upgrade with us and experience the perfect summer with Alive in store or at bealive.com/deals.
The Grand Bahama News is available every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian. You can buy your local paper at Freeport Convenience Stores, Western Bakery, DeGregory's Fine Foods, and Bellevue Gifts. Now is the time to reach your Grand Bahama market with affordable packages, including print and digital. Call GB News sales representative Kavandre at 822-6717 or message him on WhatsApp for ad rates. Classified ads are now available every Tuesday as well. Keep up with everything Grand Bahamian every Tuesday in the Nassau Guardian.
Now let me see now. 326 EPIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island. This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go right to the telephone lines. The lines are wide open, sitting here with Garth Roseborough. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller. You on with us live? Go ahead.
Howard and Grant.
Hey,
How you doing?
all is well. What's happening?
Okay. Are we on the subject of speaking about the church?
We're talking about all of these things. We're talking about the murders.
We are?
Yes. Garth wanted to bring that out to the forefront. I don't know why. I mean, I don't know if he's trying to debunk Christianity.
No. I don't
right?
think so.
Thank
I
you.
really don't think so.
Okay, I want to know.
You know, my take on that, right, Howard, I always feel like we, as a Christian, right, because me myself don't think we're a Christian nation, okay?
Thank you.
I think if we had more of the Christian, and every time people start to talk about pastors and so forth, people think that we're coming down on the church, right?
Right.
But we're not coming down on the church, because I'm one who believes the church is me, you, and God, okay?
Amen.
Church
Amen.
is us.
Amen.
The place, the building that we worship is just a building, because we could be in church anywhere in our home. We could have a church set up there, okay? That's just me. I believe the persons who really serving God today, however, is the ones who are not a part of any church. Okay? They just have their closet and their home where they pray and serve and worship God. The pastors of this nation, and I'm not hitting nor calling no names, okay? But the ones who have the government in air and the voice that could be heard loud, they're not saying anything. If we open our Bibles, right, we used to look at persons who walk like kings, prophetess. We used to be talking aloud, like the Bible says, sound your voice and be loud. Okay? When he meant that, he didn't mean that for sinners only. He meant that for the government of the nation. Like how the Christians used to be trying to get in the face of kings in the Bible, and he used to tear them down and talk about them, and you know. You following me, Howard?
Yeah, right here with you.
We, as Christians and leaders, you know, we, not that they only speak on a particular subject. They're not saying nothing much, and I don't know what's their game. I don't know how. I'm trying to figure out all these things happening in this country, Howard.
Yes.
Put your politics aside.
Yes.
Persons are leaning for the church now, the men and women of God, to speak out.
Yes.
Okay? And loud.
Yes.
You could go on these talk show or go on these radio station like Beyond the Headline. You could speak, right? But who audience do you have? Do you have the Prime Minister's voice or the leaders? Just how they call their press conference with the news, you get out and you speak, okay? But you know what they're into now? How are they into what they could gain, what board they could be on, what contract they may have? Me and you, as far from, you know, they ain't thinking about us. There's too much things happen, and they need to just rise and do what God called them to do. Speak against these leaders, like how the men in the Bible used to tear down those kings.
Yes.
And that's what we're looking for to happen.
Wow.
I love it.
Okay.
I appreciate the telephone call. Thank you so very kindly. Persons are into what they can gain. It's heavy.
Very heavy.
And you know that men will be lovers of themselves.
Now you're getting preachy.
I have to.
You're getting preachy.
But this is the word.
But homeboy.
This is the word.
We've been like that from 1492. Ain't nothing changed.
But before 1492,
No, 1492.
it said that we would progressively become, that men will become in the end time, in the last dispensation, as the seasons and everything starts to be able to amalgamate and come to an end, that men will be lovers of themselves. That this time would be a reflection of the time of Noah. That this time where we perpetuate this sort of an idea, this insatiable idea for more pleasure, fill me more, fill my cup, Lord, with pleasure. That men will become lovers of themselves. But we know that in this dispensation of leadership, if we only look at our politicians, my God, we can't even take none of them out. We got to look at all. The gamut, the whole spectrum of politics.
I'm following you.
We got to look at all of them.
I'm following you.
And if we could contrast this era and dispensation, the last 10 years of politicians in this country, 10 years, only 10 years, the last decade.
10 years.
If we contrast them to from 1964, between 64 and 74, and we contrast them, these are two different people entirely.
Yes.
They are different in their desires for the country. They are different in their objectives. They are different in terms of moving forward. They are different to their commitment to community. They are different in their insatiable desire. See, the men of the 60s going into the 70s, they like the same thing you like. They like a drink. They like a smoke. They like sweetheart. They like these things. But they knew their objective and their responsibility to community was bigger than the desire to fill their pleasure cups. They knew that.
Now you see the difference I'm talking about.
These men now, they put pleasure before purpose. And so purpose is always diminished. And purpose is always on the back burner.
Okay.
And purpose is always secondary, as opposed to being able to understand that this is the pursuit that we have to do. These men, and I got to put everyone on the table. Now you got to decipher, okay, Howard, we got to take this one out. Okay, Howard, we got to take this one out.
So Howard, as you go to your next caller then, let me ask you this question. No insult given to anyone, but I got to focus on China. When the politicians of China decide to put their own pleasure before the state of China, tell me what happens to them.
Not just China.
No, I talk about China now.
No, you talk about communism.
Tell me what happens.
Let's be decent. Let's look at what happens in Russia. Let's look at what happens in South Korea.
The politician was
let's look at what happens
state.
in Cuba. Let's look at what happens in these particular spaces. You could never, ever, ever put your agenda, your family's agenda, before the agenda of state.
Why?
Because death will be your cup.
The same thing would be scared to do here, death.
No, but you know what you can do. Fire, what you can do.
Man, you got to do something with
You
these
can
crooks.
snuff out the politicians.
Man, you might as well.
You're doing a lot.
They like roaches crawling all over the place, man. You're tired of them.
Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line with this live. Go ahead. Go ahead, caller.
Hello.
Hey.
A pleasant good evening, Howard.
Hey, what's up, Swaggy?
Right then. Howard, do you ever take time in the evening and listen to your show?
Sparky, go ahead with what you got to say. Go ahead with your comment. We ain't got much time today.
Let me ask you a question. I always hit you with this and you don't like it. You always seem to press, of all the religions in the world, you constantly only push on one, Christianity.
Well, why you only talk about one Valley group, one Junkanoo group? The Valley Boys.
That's a Junkanoo group.
Well, but that is your religion.
We talk about something next to God.
That's your religion.
Okay.
Your Valley Boys is what you just push.
That's not my religion.
Why you fight me for what I just push?
I ain't fighting you. What I'm trying to say is, we have a constitution in this country. Constitution means we also have the right to religion. We said one thing, that we are a Christian nation with a right to religion, but you keep pressing this like it's only Christianity.
There are more than 6 hosts on this show, on this station.
If this is a Christian nation...
You shouldn't call me and fight me for what I believe, Sparky.
Okay, no, I'm not fighting you. What I'm saying is, if you listen to me, if you could give me a moment...
No, but you're not going to shift my convictions. You're not going to shift my position.
I want you to have your right.
I have my right. Same as you have your right. So this is the space for
debate. I want to ask you this question in regards to Christianity. If we're a Christian nation, there's a religion in this, an organization in this country that follows the path of Jesus. When I remember the stories, I grew up in Anglican church, my brother. I served on the altar, my brother. Okay, for many years in St. George's Church.
So did I.
Okay, and in St. Matthew's. I was christened there in 1951, confirmed at 13 in St. George's. But when I look around at the leaders of the organization calling themselves Christians, the bishops, the archdeacons, the canons, and this and that and that, and look at their lifestyle compared to Jesus, according to the Bible. Jesus left home at 12, returned back when he was 30 years old, was baptized by his cousin John the Baptist. His ministry lasted only 3 years. But in those days, when we were growing up, and what I think of when I look at Jesus in my mindset, he was a humble person, walking the streets of Nazareth and Judea and Jerusalem and so forth, preaching to people about a different way of life other than the high priest and the Roman gods and so forth. He was a humble man. But when I look at the religious leaders of today, and from after that, like my brother in the studio said, when I look at the Catholic bishop, the Anglican bishop, the bishop of the Baptist church, and all the different churches around here, their lifestyle has nothing to do with the way Jesus' lifestyle would look in my mind. When I look at the Hermitage, where the Catholic bishop lives, when you see the long wall upon the East Bay Street road, also going out to the harbor, beachfront property. I said, why would one man calling himself a bishop need a piece of property that big when he's supposed to be a humble man living in a little small house, government-made house, a humble man who nobody can hurt?
Well, I appreciate your telephone call, Sparky. They cut you because I got to go to news, but I do appreciate it, and I want to be able to say this. And I don't think that we're ready to have this kind of a conversation. It's very difficult for a man to serve two gods.
Oh, yeah.
It's difficult. You always have to cling to one and reject the other.
That's like having sweetheart Howard.
It's absolutely difficult for a man to serve two gods. And in our society, a great deal of men elevated in this society are serving two gods.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
And whilst you may think that this is hypothetical,
Yes.
it is actually literal.
Yes.
And many of them know it. Now, they wouldn't tell you, but they're serving two gods.
Well, we can see it.
Of course. Let's have a deep conversation, guys. We're going to take this commercial break, get to news, and be right back after this.
Foundation. 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 The foundation. The foundation.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is the Afternoon Report on the Guardian News Network. Hello, everyone. I'm Bonitude. Thanks for tuning in. Topping news, the mother of a man who was shot and killed in Fox Hill claims he was questioned by police last week in connection with an investigation into voice notes that led to Criminal Investigation Department Chief Michael Johnson taking garden leave.
When y'all lock him up, y'all ain't find him with nothing. Why y'all pick up my child, carry him to police headquarters in the church park, and then they can turn around and tell him if any police car stop you when you pass it, don't stop. What you pick up my child for? To question him with Michael Johnson?
What's your son's full name?
His name is Oren Roberts, and my child was not known to no police. They lock up my child. My child was in court from November. The police yet to present a voluntary bill of indictment to say what y'all lock up my child for.
Ms. Roberts says she heard the sounds of gunshots being fired outside her home last evening. She ran outside and saw her son, Oral Roberts, lying in the street. Assistant Commissioner of Police Roger Thompson said officers were alerted by shot spotter technology to the shooting incident on Woodpecker Street around 6:30 p.m.
During this period of time, we already had officers who were on the road conducting operation, not too far from the scene. As a result of the alert, those officers came to this particular area where they saw a male who appeared to be lifeless and who also, from information received, is in his about early 30s. The male is known to us, and I am able to say that he was fitted with an EMD.
Last year, Roberts and another man were accused of stealing more than $1 million from a bank security car at an airport. The pair were accused of breaking into the rear window of an unattended security vehicle, transporting cash for the Bank of the Bahamas to a private airport on November 2nd. He's the third suspect in connection with that matter to be murdered. The government's plan to restructure the operations of Bahamas Power and Light could cut energy costs by 50% over the next 2 years. That's according to CFAO President Anthony Ferguson, who is a director of Bahamas Grid Company Limited. He made the comments when he called into Guardian Radio talk show Z Live with host Shivargo Lang.
One way to begin to grow the economy in a sustainable way is by reducing the cost of doing business in the Bahamas. Electricity is one of the major challenges for both the retail, the man on the street, and businesses in this country. We believe, based on everything that has been pronounced, and if goes to plan, you could effectively reduce energy costs by as much as 50% over the next 24 months.
Bahamas Grid Company is a special purpose vehicle formed to work alongside BPL to undertake certain fundamental improvements to the electric transmission and distribution system on New Providence and operate and maintain the T&D system thereafter. Bahamas Grid will be 40% owned by BPL and 60% privately owned. Some details of the government's reform plan were announced in June, with officials touting it as a solution to BPL's long-standing challenges. The announcement has sparked concerns among BPL employees, with union leaders raising concerns over what the new arrangement means for existing employees. Ferguson said no jobs will be lost.
The employees will have an opportunity in that area to get, trained, and if so desire, come over to the Bahamas Grid and be gainfully employed. If not, they will remain with BPL. No one is going to lose their job. There's a program, it's pretty much formulated, where we would take a lot of young men and women who wish to be in this line of work, career, to be sent abroad, learn how to do live wire connections, etc. And so you will soon have a new cadre of young people who have access to gainful employment in the industry of electrification and transmission.
Bahamian javelin thrower Rima Otterbar is excited to make her Olympics debut in Paris, France. She won't compete until next week, but the 21-year-old has made good use of her time in Paris thus far, training and getting adjusted to the time zone.
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm getting acclimated to the time zone, and I just started my practice back up again yesterday, and so I'm feeling good. I had a good session, working on a little bit of things, and training is going pretty well.
Rima is one of just 8 athletes worldwide to qualify for the Paris Olympic Games in the women's javelin. Last month, she broke Laverne Eve's 24-year-old national record, winning her second straight NCAA Division I national title. She qualified for the Olympic Games in the process. She said she's happy to represent Team Bahamas in the field event at the highest level.
It feels amazing, truly. This is something I was working towards ever since I started throwing the javelin. And it's something that I wasn't sure I'd ever be able to attain. But I always had faith. And luckily, a lot of things fell into place that needed to fall into place. I worked really hard for it. And now I'm here where I feel like I'm meant to be.
And that'll do it for us here on the Guardian News Network. Once again, I'm wanting to stay with us. AP Update is coming up.
Looking for a car that combines reliability, innovation, and options to fit every type of driver? Look no further than Toyota. Whether you're in the market for a fuel-efficient gasoline engine, a cutting-edge hybrid, or a fully electric vehicle, Toyota has you covered. Known for their unparalleled reliability, Toyota vehicles are built to last. From the versatile RAV4 to the Yaris and the all-electric BZ4X, there's a Toyota, the brand that drives you forward. Visit Executive Motors today, located East Shirley Street, a part of the Auto Mall Group, or call 242-397-1770. Toyota, let's go places.
Loss of family members is very isolating, and people who have experienced loss appreciate when others have shared their grief. If you can't be there in person, go to the Nassau Guardian's website online at thenassauguardian.com and visit our obituary link. The Nassau Guardian's interactive obituary link allows you to read the funeral announcement, express condolences, or place photos on the online guest book for 1 full year. Losing a loved one is painful, but that pain isn't the worst thing to happen. Friends, loved ones, colleagues, and neighbors who ignore the loss compound the pain. Should the bereaved family wish to place the obituary and photos on our obituary site, just contact the Guardian's funeral industry partners or the Nassau Guardian. Remember, there isn't one magic right thing to say to someone experiencing loss that will make the loss less painful or easier to bear. The Nassau Guardian's obituary link, available online at thenassauguardian.com.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation. Foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, The Foundation, live and in full effect on this beautiful Wednesday, July 31st, last day of the month. As we kind of tiptoe into a new month, the 8th month of the year, things just kick up around September. We see some global things happening, some shifts happening in the month of birth. We see the 9th month is bringing a lot of things. And so I don't know where we can be in this September, but I feel like some things are happening. We're going to have a good conversation about it, guys. I want you to join me in conversation, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, anywhere from the family of Island, 242-300-5720, or you could be able to hit me up on hit me up on the text 422-4796. All the information's in there. Guys, we're live and in full effect, being able to chop the thing down. I'm grateful to be in your company. I'm here with my good friend Garth Roseborough, and we're just talking the way that we're talking. Garth, my boy, tell me what you think. I mean, when we left off, I don't want to get deep into certain conversations, but there's a contradiction that exists in our country. And the reason why you see that there isn't a relentless push to do these things, because I believe that you can't serve two masters. You just can't. Without any explanation, it's almost one of those kind of a stones that if it hits you, you know. You can't serve two masters. This kind of a confusion that exists within you is being displayed in your profession. It's being displayed in your family. It's being displayed in your love life. It's being displayed with your children. It's being displayed in every aspect. You cannot serve two masters and expect there to be continuity, expect there to be this sort of a cohesive approach to growth and development. You just can't do it. You are tossed to and fro. You cannot. And the issue that we're having in our country is that you can't be corrupt and law enforcement. You can't. You just can't. You can't. You can't be, and I'm just saying, these are allegations. I ain't putting this on no one. But I'm saying to you, you cannot have your hand in two spaces. This is a beast. When in Revelation start to talk about the beast that came out and one foot was in the sea and one foot was on land, my God, this is a beast. This is a pterodactyl. This is horror.
One of the great issues that we're having in our country, and it is a blessed country. I do believe that God lives in the Bahamas. We are very fortunate people. But the issue that we're having, Howard Grant, is that magnetism towards the island of New Providence. Just saw a recent video with Grand Bahama. It's a ghost town. There are no tourists there. 4,000 people at work and only 3-4 tourists walking around. You go to the other family islands, they have infrastructural issues. So everyone is now coming here to New Providence, right? In coming to New Providence with all of the strain and stress and talks of violence and all of these domestic situations, Howard, the solution to our country is what continues to evade us. You speak about serving two masters, right? Watch this. First thing in the morning, you could buy any liquor you want. That thing they call aristocrat. You ever heard of an aristocrat? You ain't gonna serve God with aristocrat in your blood. That ain't gonna happen. I've seen the devil.
You got to be sober-minded.
I have looked in the eyes of people drinking that thing, and man, I see the devil himself. Aristocrat. They gotta have Gordon's gin. They gotta have all these different gin. They gotta have Cavassier. They gotta have Guinness and Galick and everything else going first thing in the morning for breakfast. People gotta get a little smoke on first thing in the morning. Howard Grant. This is why I say to you, and I like what the caller did when she called in. You have to, as a Christian, and especially as a leader of Christianity, take a stand. It cannot be about material things any longer. It has to be about nation building. It has to be about sacrifice. I met a young lady at the Boys Industrial School, the Simpson Penn School, last name is Saunders. She did a fabulous job. She actually sacrifices Howard and uses her own time to take the young man spear fishing. And they don't have no boat. They use snorkels and fins, and they take the young people out and they go snorkeling and spearing fish. And they do a lot of things, the ingenuity and the innovation that is being exercised in this country by the few. You're sitting here in the studio today, Howard Grant. We need more people like you to be the salt of the Bahamas, to go out into communities, have these talk shows staged in communities. You people,
I would like that.
You could support the foundation.
I would like
school
that.
is about to open up. You have a private school. You can get Howard Grant involved. You can get the Guardian staff involved, do some remote shows, and get people together for a conversation about building this country. It's not going to take you sitting back, Howard, in your living rooms and in your offices listening to us speak, and you're not prepared to get yourself involved. If you can't get involved personally, using your talent, you can use your finances. Tell someone else about the foundation. Let us begin to get involved, man, and build this family so that we can build a stronger nation. I think that's where we're at right now, Howard Grant. We're too dissented. There's too much factions. There's too much schism.
Is that what you were starting to talk about at the top?
This is what I'm talking
when
about.
you talk about the variations of Christianity.
Too much variation.
That exist?
We got to find the unifying factors that bring us together. Now, I know one thing that does very well when it comes to getting together. I remember when Dwight Strachan and the Guardian staff and you all had your little sheding the other day, and once you got rum, liquor, and food,
You want to know,
Jesus,
sir? Let me take a
God.
telephone call.
All the saints of God show up.
Let me take a telephone call. Caller on the line with us live. Go ahead.
Howard,
Hi.
good afternoon to you and good afternoon to God.
Hey, good afternoon, my brother.
Howard, let me just first of all say that, you're doing a great job, right?
Okay.
But I have one thing against you.
I appreciate it. I know it was coming.
Man, acknowledge your customer, man. You as a customer service professional, first thing they tell you is what? Acknowledge your customer, man. I used doing this line for almost 20 minutes.
How you could be on the line for 20 minutes to show we was on commercial?
Yeah, no, I was waiting on Monday, I was waiting for 20 minutes, and then the time ran out, and I was on the line up to 1 o'clock.
My apologies, sir. My apologies.
Okay,
Go
so,
ahead. Yes, sir.
acknowledge, clear the line first, and then you could go back to talk. All right?
Okay, thank you.
What I was trying to call from Monday, when that lady called and she was trying to explain to you the politics of the Roman Catholic Church, you and the preacher didn't understand what you were saying, right? And I'm going to explain it to you. Listen to me. There was the Roman Catholic Church was the official church of the Spanish colonies, right? The papacy, the Vatican, was very much involved in the politics of the day. And so when you hear the history talks about the church, and most times it is talking about the Roman Catholic Church. It is not talking about the church of Jesus Christ. It's not talking about the church that Christ died for. It's not talking about the church about who in the book of Hebrews, which said that, you have this great cloud of witnesses who were thrown into the lion's den, who were burned at the stake. They were not talking about people like Polycarp. And so, even in I taught O-level history for a number of years. So, in the Spanish countries, you had the Roman Catholic Church as the established church. In the Anglican colonies, you had, in the English colonies, you had the Anglican Church as that was the established religion of that church. And for you to become a Christian, all you had to do was to be baptized into their religion. So that was, like God said, it was a convoluted form of so-called Christianity. And so when she asked you that question, would you die for your religion, for the God who you speak about? And you said, oh, we died there. She was asking you, if a man was to put a gun to your head and say, recant, I want you to renounce your faith in Jesus. Would you be prepared?
That's not how faith and conviction work. I know that a lot of persons have this kind of.
No. Your faith is your belief.
Okay, so let me answer that. Hold on. Faith and conviction should not vary from man to man. Conviction is an anchor that's steadfast. If you believe in this, you will die for this, no matter where you are. Whether that's Hinduism, whether that's Buddha, whether that's Rasta, whoever it is.
Yeah,
if you are convicted in this thing,
I'm saying this. So if you the Muslims are prepared to die for their faith, right?
Of course.
Are you prepared to die for yours?
Of course. It's my own. It belongs to me. The same way I'm prepared to die for my wife and my children.
No, but I'm saying if she was saying, are you prepared? Because you were saying, the people saying, the Muslims were crying out and or they couldn't do this to the Muslim religion and so on and so forth.
No, well, let's put it in proper context for the persons who didn't listen. Let's put it in proper context for the persons who didn't listen on Monday. We were talking about the Olympics. We were talking about the fact that over 206 nations around the world would have been able to be indifferent with this spectacle that they perceive to be the Last Supper. And as a result of this, despite the fact that you could be able to call it one thing or another, Dionysus or whatever the case may be, you have indicated that this was the Last Supper, and no one stood up for this. Not one Christian stood up for this. And so that's where the question came from.
Right. Right. And so she was trying to tell you in regards to, the politics that was involved, because many times people don't understand. Religion has many different interpretations. Okay, Christianity is different from a religion as far as I know. Okay, our faith as a Christian is different from the Catholic Church. They believe in something totally different, but still they believe that they are Christians. Okay, and so Christians were martyred for what they believed in. And so she was just asking you, if somebody was to come to you and say, would you say like Polycarp, who said, 86 years have I served him, and one day he did me no wrong, burned me. Are you prepared to die for your religion? That is all she was trying to say to you.
I'm never prepared to die for religion. That ain't even a question. I'm never prepared to die for religion. That's not something that I would do. But my faith, my conviction, my belief, my relentless, steadfast commitment, and this sort of an idea that I'm progressively moving towards that's a different question. That's different entirely. If we have a conversation about religion, I don't even want nothing to do with religion. But if we're talking about faith, conviction, spirituality, and proper alignment with what I identify as Supreme God, then yes, it's a whole different story. Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
The foundation.
It's Whopper Wednesday every Wednesday at Burger King Nassau. Make your Wednesday sizzle and sink your teeth into a flame-grilled beef patty topped with tomatoes, fresh-cut lettuce, mayo, pickles, ketchup, and sliced onions, all on a toasted sesame seed bun with fries for only $5.95, including that. This Whopper Wednesday, grab a friend and head down to your favorite BK Nassau location for a flame-grilled Whopper made your way with crisp fries for only $5.95. Burger King Nassau, where taste is king.
Now let me see now. 326 ETIC. Hello? This Epic Eckert battery. This Miss Beulah from round the corner. I hear you're selling tires now on Wolf Road too.
Praise the Lord. It's about time. I live Fox Hill and Fire Trail. It's too far.
That ain't all. They open Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. On Sunday and holiday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.
My brother Sam, he's a hacker, and he could go right there and get fixed up.
Call us at 326 EPIC. We ship also to the Family Island. This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant and your company, sitting here with Garth Roseborough, having a good conversation. 323-623-2325-431-632-54-4259. Anywhere from the family of islands. 242-300-5720. Hit me up, 422-4796. You can be able to hit me up. Let me take this quick telephone call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Go ahead, call on the line. Next call. Call on the line with us live. Go ahead. Guys, the lines are wide open. Garth, this is a peculiar conversation that we're having. And I say peculiar, I don't know whether or not persons are willing to kind of stretch far and wide. It started off with a very clear aspect and understanding that we are snuffing people out. It started off with this kind of this probe into the allegations that's being levied against the Royal Bahamas Police Force. It started off with the potential that exists within our youth that's being snuffed out in the street. And then it started to go into this kind of I think we detoured into a wider concept of what's happening in our country and whether or not men and women have the conviction who are in leadership to be able to get back to the altar. And I say the altar, I don't necessarily mean from a religious or church standpoint. I'm just talking about the steadfast constitution and the conviction, the sort of the preamble of what our existence mean, and holding steadfast to that. Hold on to the altar. That holding on to the altar in the church was not about just merely holding on to the mere altar, but the convictions and the anchor of what the church means, the foundation of the church, being able to hold on to that.
But this nation is immersed, as you said, with individuals who serve two masters. The concentration of that, the per capita of that, is huge. I'm looking.
Do you think they know they're serving two masters?
Of course. And many other people serve other masters. This country is filled with various masters. It all leads to one ultimate master, but this one master has many faces. I'm looking at the history of the Bahamas, as I've always said, with the exploitation of the Indians and the exploitation of the Africans that came here. I'm looking at the piracy and the buccaneering and the bootlegging and the shipwrecking and the human smuggling and the drug running and the guns trafficking, I'm looking at all these things. I'm looking at tax evasion. I mean, the list continues to go on for the Bahamas. So I'm trying to really pinpoint when did we decide that we were Christian. That's what I'm really trying to figure in my head, because I remember as a young man, I think Billy Graham was here. I remember when that took place, I think. I think that was an awakening moment.
But we are a colony.
Yeah, but
as a colony, we take on the posture and the position of our colonial masters. That's the entire concept of a colony.
Yeah.
The Anglican Church, which is the head of those that we serve from a colonial standpoint, is also our head in this particular state.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So they brought, quote unquote, Christianity with them.
Okay.
And they delivered that to us and disseminated that to us. And that's how it's enshrined in our Constitution.
But there was an initial reverence and respect for these entities, initially. Where did we drop the ball? When did we lose our way? When I was growing up...
After 1973.
In 1979, I had the opportunity, I remember, to kiss the Pope's feet. I think he came here around 78, 79. They selected me to kiss the feet of the Pope. I know he died right after that. So
my God, you killed him?
I must have killed him. I don't know who was the sinner and who was righteous, but I remember that Pope. He didn't allow Pope John Paul I, right? But I remember also things like the Boy Scouts. I was a Boy Scout. I was in the Sea Scouts. I remember those days. I'm saying that there were programs with there, Howard, that helped my single mother to build me as an individual. I went to Baptist Bible Church. So Brother Rocky used to pick me up. If he didn't pick me up, I'd walk from Claridge Road to Soldier Road to go to Baptist Bible Church. That was in me to do these things. I had to go to church. It felt good to go to church. I'm looking at our society today, and I want to know, where are the programs that build the young men, that keeps the young men out of trouble? Where are the fishing mentors in our country? Who's taking these young men out to teach them how to fish off the rock or fish on a boat? Teach them how to go scuba diving. Teach them how to play various sports like they do at Freedom Park, where they learn baseball. I don't think we have enough of these social building programs in our nation. There's too much availability to smoke weed or medicinal marijuana, whatever you want to call it. There's too much availability. You're feeding the baby gin when their baby put it in the milk so they can go to sleep. So from the child as an infant, they alcoholic. I mean, this is the nation that we building. You know what I mean? Daddy ain't never home. Daddy either at the bar, or you see daddy with another woman and you got to keep your mouth shut because you ain't want your mom to know. These things happen in our country. This is blatant issues in our country that is breaking this nation apart. So when you say Christian nation, once again, I'm laughing at you because you cannot be serious. Your politicians ain't Christian. Your pastors ain't Christian. Who's a Christian around here? I want to know what the definition of Christian is for my country. That's what I really want to know.
Let me take a telephone call and see if they got the answer. Call on the line with the side. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon, Mr. Grant, and good afternoon to God.
Good afternoon, my brother. Thanks so much for the call.
Yeah, man. Howard, I think when you be talking about the leaders from the 60s and 70s and stuff like that, right? I think you should be giving them a little too much credit, Howard.
No, man.
Man. See, because
you see something wrong?
I mean, look here. I mean, you know what, Howard? If you and I had grown up in today's society, I don't think we would have been. I'm not trying to say we were good children or perfect children, but we would have been much worse had we grown up in this time as the time that we did. You understand? And the same as politics. See, back then, Howard, it wasn't so much availability for corruption. I mean, I'm not trying to say, and those leaders back then failed, Howard, because if they had done a good enough job, then those who succeeded them would not be at the state that we're in now. What we see today is the individuals who are in power now, they learn from a chain that has progressively gotten worse with each administration. Do you understand where I'm coming from? You see, so like I said before, when you think about those individuals back in the past, what they did for them, this in the 60s and the 70s, that they set up for themselves like a black oligarchy in this country. You know what I mean? Like when you look at it, the individuals who were in place then, they still have good wealth and still have influence and all these things. So so when you look at what they did, they didn't put anything in place for you to say really be giving them all this commendation to say that they're so much better than the leaders of today.
Could I challenge that?
Yes,
I want to challenge that too.
You want to challenge? Go ahead. You're the host of the show. You go first. I'll go second.
Well, I want to be able to say.
Stay on the line.
I want to say it like this: the men of yesterday, especially those in the '60s that came out from the '40s and the '50s and understood sort of the oppression, the segregation that existed in this regard.
Yes, sir.
Their allegiance was to the community, not just to their mother. Their allegiance was to the entire community. They took the community on their back. They couldn't come back home if they didn't apply themselves to at least making an incremental step towards the freedoms that we've been dreaming about, that we've been hoping for. And so you had stronger men because they had to find accountability from the community. After 1973, when we became our own masters, in a sense, after the Union Jack fall and the Bahamian flag rose, and the story shifted from Moses, from Abraham, from these things into, baby, you could do anything. Oh my God, you could do anything. We've forgotten those particular elements, and the allegiance was no longer to the community. The allegiance was no longer to nationalism. It became an allegiance to self. That's what it was. They don't answer to nobody no more. No, they don't want. No one answers to anyone except Her Majesty's heirs and successors. That's what they do. That's what they do. So I have to be able to say to you that the men of yesterday, by no fault of their own, by no, they're not by their own strength, their commitment was to community because the community spoke loudly at that time. Mm-hmm. Not after that. After 73, it diminished, especially with the introduction of cocaine.
Man,
it diminished.
You're preaching.
It diminished.
But Howard, when you say their commitment was to community, right? Like how could you say that based upon the things that they had acted? I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, they might say a lot, you know what I mean? And let's not, and I think what happened to Howard is that the fact that they had this, like the black people back then had this issue of wanting the majority to have more say in the process, right? And wanting some more rights and stuff, right? Once they saw people of their color now in the House of Representatives, I think that is what caused them to kind of ease off too, because they go, oh, now we in charge now. But other than that, Howard, nothing was done on the ground.
Wow.
For them to say, well, oh boy, these people who we put in power now, the majority, like they really making changes for us. Look, we could see it. You know what I mean? Look at the place today. You know what I mean? And see how you have to understand what changed the day before and the day after majority rule. What changed the day before and the day after independence? Nothing.
And you know what?
So, when you're talking, so like I said before, you are giving these individuals credit that they don't deserve, man. You know what I mean? But I want to hear what God had to say to them.
Yeah, I kind of understand exactly what you're saying. I hear Howard as well. I think one of the factors that we need to put into this conversation, and I know we don't have enough time today, is the time that has elapsed. Like Howard said, that was earlier times. There were different expectations at that particular time. But things happened so quickly since 1973. I mean, it happened extremely quickly. Where you had this liberation, where you had drug trafficking coming through the country, and then it was a free for all. I didn't have time to look at your shoulder. The politician had his share. The neighbor down the road had his share. My brother had his share. Everybody wearing 14-karat gold chain.
You find your share.
Mr. T was a hero. I know, Carl, you remember that's a 280ZX, a 300ZX, a Supra. You had the Cedric, you had the Laurel.
Good times.
People had the house leaning to one side, but had one satellite dish bigger than Treehouse. You know, so it was a free for all time. And then came Hubert Alexander Ingram when he came with the Movable Properties Act. You understand? So that became a free for all for foreigners. So now property went up from $5,000. And then started to skyrocket up to $25,000, then up to $50,000, then to $75,000. And so the times was moving so quickly that even so now, with our education system failing, I'm going to say this strongly so you can take the microphone, Howard, failing. It means our sensibilities are also now failing. Definitely. And the politicians now understanding that they can get away with more now because the truth be told, you and I are not supposed to understand what corruption really is. We're saying corruption. But if you ask the average Bahamian, what corruption are you talking about? Give him $25 for one little snack down the road, or give him one contract. What corruption are you talking about?
Yeah, but God, I totally agree with you, God, and everything that you said. And plus, like how you said, that the time doesn't permit like the needed.
Yeah, because the lines are like right up. Go ahead.
But like how 52 would say. And like I've been thinking too before, this is the politician's paradise. You understand? and just to end on
well, you got some favorite words,
on how we talking about the can't serve two masters and people and etc. And even though, you see, Howard, like just to go back on that repurpose indecency you was talking about, right? I want you to listen because, see, in order to deal with the problem, we got to be indecent to a certain extent. You know, that kind of way, because, the people who we need to speak against are the ones who on top. And like they say before, if you want to know who rules you, look at the people who you are not allowed to speak against. You understand? So, but my point is this. So that thing we were talking about the other day about how you say people, you can't serve two masters, right? Like if I was an MP and I go in the house, I go in there to serve the people, right? So if I'm not serving the people, if I'm serving the people who's supposed to be against the people, like the banks and businesses who like trying to take what belongs to the people, right? If I am on their side, right? And I talk about like I've been elected to serve the people. See, I know, like you say, you can't serve two masters. But see, what now, Howard? What if I then, right? While I am in there, right? What if now as a leader, right? While I am in there, I set up this program or I set up something where I train leaders now, future leaders, right? What am I training them, Howard? Am I training them to be a leader who is looking out for the best interests of the country? Or am I training them to be a leader like myself, who is on the side of...
Let Howard answer that.
I got to let you go.
Yeah.
I appreciate your telephone call, my brother. That's a heavy one.
That's a very heavy one. And Howard, I'm going to let you answer that because, you see, I'm going to ask you this question, Howard. Who pays for the campaign bill? You see, until the people are prepared to put their money...
finance reform.
Yeah, but until the people are prepared to put their candidate forward and pay for their candidate to go forward, we'll continue to have those people who are stronger than us to rule over us.
The last time the people paid for their candidate to go forward was the PLP.
And who was the candidate you remember?
The Progressive Liberal Party, collectively. That's where the people collectively came together and chipped in and made formation of this organization. They did have sponsorship,
Pre-67.
but they did have a people's movement who contributed to the organization and the forward movement of this organization. You understand? What built the Free National Movement and what they continue to be able to talk about is the fact that they are a dissident organization. So their collective disdain for the PLP brought them together. That's what
How
they
are you
keep
not
talking
being
about.
decent today?
That's what it is. That's what they say.
You think they still like that?
They say that the spirit, you didn't hear me, you forget what I said. I said, if a spirit still exists in your organization, y'all are being haunted, right? That's what I said. Their collective disdain, okay, so when we get together, all of us hate this particular person. The only commonality that we have is that we hate whatever this is going on. That's what brought the Free National Movement together. And then after they got together, they start to be able to figure out a couple of things, and they say, let's focus on these particular things here, right? But their collective disdain for the PLP and what was happening in the organization brought them together. That's not what forged the PLP.
No, PLP is giving FNM
That's not what forged the PLP.
And FNM's giving PLP contracts. They're getting together.
No. What forged the PLP and which it is a farce and a fallacy to believe that the PLP could ever be diminished, because what pulled them together was a national love for the country. That's what pulled them together initially. I'm not talking about this perceived corruption that creeps into every organization and every church and every. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what brought us together first. What brought me and my wife together? I'm not talking about the rows that we may have. I'm not talking about the indifference that we may have. I'm not talking about the decisions that I make or she makes that we cause an issue. I'm talking about what brought us together initially. When we could reflect upon that, we could get over these things. The FNM doesn't have that commonality.
Okay, so put this in
The
precedent.
only thing that brought the Free National Movement together and continues to be able to bring them together is someone with a spirit that superseded this disdain for the PLP.
So before
with
you
a
go-
spirit to be able to, I'm getting deep right now,
I see
with a
that.
spirit to be able to ensure that we could get to national growth and development. And that is why you've seen success in Hubert Alexander Ingram. That is why the Free National Movement continues to be able to have the legacy that they do, simply because they've pushed aside their disdain, they understand the objective, and they
Okay.
superseded that to get to that with the leadership of Hubert Alexander Ingram. That spirit is the spirit that took over the FNM.
Okay.
Can we get deep? Can we get 2
That's where-
seconds deep?
But that's where I was heading. And then I was going to ask you, Howard, this generation of FNM, this generation of PLP, what is their current situation before you go to the phone call?
There is no current situation. They're looking at national issues. They're looking
The young
at global
people?
issues. Yeah, the young people don't have. The young people are disenfranchised. They inherit nothing. The young people are disenfranchised. They have nothing to take home. They have nothing to talk about. They're educated. They're articulate. They're insightful. They have their pulse on global communities. They know the language of the world, and they can't translate that to be able to find themselves financially endowed in this country without selling themselves to another master. They can't. They can't. Man, listen, when you're ready to have a real conversation with me, let's do this.
But you got to be in
all this education they have. Some of them got 3 degrees.
I got how much?
They smart, they handsome, they pretty, they keep themselves clean,
smart,
they
but
in the
I know
gym
I'm
all the
handsome,
time,
boy,
they doing
smart.
all these things. Young people, I'm talking about young people.
Why young?
This before 40, sir. I even passed that. Let's be clear. This is the 40 and below.
Look at this brother calling me old on the radio.
Now let's do this. The 40 and below recognize that the only way that they could be able to infiltrate the system is they have to kiss the proverbial ring. And as soon as you genuflect to kiss that ring, that is a proverbial master or a literal master that you have to bend before to get to your objective.
That is true. That's where we are in the country.
That's where he is. That's where he is. Ain't nobody won't give up their convictions just to be able to survive. That's the beast system.
Wago Cooper got to ask.
My God, let me see if I can take a telephone call. Go, caller, go ahead.
Howard and God, good afternoon.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Right here, boy. I spent the whole time listening to the conversation.
Thank you, man.
What you said just now in a nutshell speaks volumes. You know, the current, and it's sad to put it like this because when you are on the ground and you are observing persons that make up this country, you can tell whether our country is being propelled forward, upward, and onward, or whether we are at virtually a standstill. The next generation, from what I can see, honestly, the majority of the persons that make up the next generation, they have no inkling at all about what nation building is all about. And that is what's killing this country. Right now, all we basically have in today's world is we had all of the nail biting and the backbiting and everything about removing the UBP, which many persons looked at as our oppressors, and put in our black leaders, who are now the oppressors of the Bahamian people. And like I said, it is sad to put it like that, but then we have to be very realistic with this thing. Because if the onus was that with black leadership will have the Bahamian people, the average Bahamian in this country, at a much greater level than where we were back then under the UBP, i.e., not struggling like how we are, not financially buoyant in the manner that perhaps the forefathers and the foremothers would have thought our country today would have been in terms of its citizenry, not being able to determine whether we would be taxed to high hell with bills, or whether we would be able to put proper food on our tables, not being able to feed ourselves from our fields, which any nation that cannot feed itself is to me, in my mind, a failed nation. And to put it lastly, you know, to hear the rhetoric of the politicians in our parliament talk nonsense instead of talk about how do we move this country forward, upward, and onward. The previous caller said a golden nugget that I think many of us, it just flew over their heads. This is a politician's paradise. We have to take the power out of their hands and put it back into the hands of the people. And even if it was not completely in our hands, we have to grab it from them and put it in our hands. I'll close on this one very salient point. You talk about the church. The church back then, during Sir Lyndon Oscar Pilling time, held a very prominent position in this country, whereas the government of the day did hardly nothing unless it was influenced by those who represented the church. And I'm not talking about the preachers and the pastors. I am talking about the Bahamian people that made up the church. Today, why we have the problems that we have is that the persons in our country who call themselves Christians are so quiet with these issues that's going on in this country. They're in their silos talking, but collectively, from a nationalistic standpoint, they're quiet.
You know why? Why,
We
Jeff?
need to let our voices be heard.
Why, Jeff? Why are they quiet?
Because of the same two things that tend to be over our heads: victimization and intimidation. We have to kill them. You say you believe in God. God is the one that protects. God is the one who provides. God is the one that makes sure to bring righteousness and justice to a country. Then if you believe in that, make your voices be heard.
I like it, Jeff. Thank you so
and
much.
That is the only way we're going to get change in this country in the manner that many of us desire. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, Jeff. I just want to be able to read this before we get out of here. I got to take this commercial break, but I just want to read this really quick. It says, no man can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and mammon. Quick commercial break. Be right back after this.
Foundation.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We can deliver any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Attention pizza lovers! Marco's Prince Charles has the deal of the summer for you. Head in and order a mouth-watering large one-topping pizza for just $10. You heard right, just $10. Call in or order online and pick up in restaurant today. This amazing carry-out offer is available for a limited time and only at Marco's Prince Charles. This is a deal you don't want to miss because everything's better with Marco's.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Foundation. Foundation. The foundation. The foundation.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, going fast today. This is grateful to be in your company. I'm grateful, man. We're talking about these things. He started off talking very good. And just being able to take this sort of a course. I like it. I like this kind of a conversation. I'm hoping that you're enjoying this. I'm grateful for your participation. I'm going to read a couple of these texts right now before we can be able to go further and be able to see exactly what's what. I just was waiting for this phone to charge a little taste. Okay, so let's see if we can do it, right? So it says, morning, Howard. Do you have the information about BPL payment portal, or when will it be up? I don't have any information about the payment portal. It says, Howard, don't forget one who was shot by the court on Nassau Street named Rafi. He was also connected to Michael Fox. This is a text that's coming through. Okay, it says, LOL. Look like the sun going down. Time changing, you know. God's still saying hello and giving these. Oh God, I don't know why they're doing you like that. Look at LOL. I saw the commissioner holding the automatic gun. I was scared for the people. This is a text that's coming through. It says, good morning, Howard. You need to get serious about the law if we say, we need to get serious about the law if we say that we stand on Christian values. I agree with God. This is a text that's coming through. It says, good afternoon, Howard and guest and the Bahamas. Problem is, some folks seem to want to blame others for their downfall. The Lord God Almighty has put into our hearts to know right and wrong. But too often, that good is being ignored. Big eyes, weak hearts, and good-for-nothing minds will lead one straight into the pits of hell every time. This is a text that's coming through. So it says, we haven't heard anything from Bishop and Christian Council about the alleged corruption on the force. That's why the churches are empty. No, we did hear something from him. No, he did say. Now, he was supposed to sit with me, but he can't do that because I don't think he's here. I don't think he's here, right? So he will come and sit with me because I wanted to sit in that other space that was on and being able to do something in that space, right? And so I wanted to kind of sit with him there. But he wasn't available to do that, right? So it says, Mr. Howard, how can you push another religion when you are not familiar with any other religions? I don't understand what you're saying to me. I just don't. Okay, so the indoctrination and the conditioning that we have in our society states to us that we must be well versed in everything else. Now, I can be knowledgeable of these things and know of their existence. I don't necessarily need to know the intimacy that exists in these particular organizations for me to be able to stand steadfast in the conviction of what I have from what I have. It's almost like you're saying, Howard, I just don't understand what you're saying. You're the man of one wife. How can you make a determination that this is the wife for you if you haven't had an opportunity to be able to explore others? For me, I don't understand what that means. Why can Sparky take on a position that only perpetuate and push the Valley Boys and the Saxons exist? I don't understand. People get to make their choices.
They do.
People get to make their choices.
You know what the issue though is?
Howard, how can you hate one political organization if you don't know anything? I don't understand these things.
Yeah, but you see, the issue that I had listening on Monday is that yes, you have a right to your belief, you have a right to your strength, you have a right to your Messiah and your salvation. But when other people do not see it your way, there's an offense that is made. Like, I know early in the show you mentioned that so many countries around the world were offended by what was portrayed in Paris. And I thought to myself, listening, and I said, well, I know Howard is a brilliant man. I know Roll. I respect him very highly. But what does Olympics have to do with your religion? The Olympics itself was built on heathenism and paganism.
Absolutely.
It was built on an idea not of Jehovah God. It wasn't built on Yahweh.
And so if it come in full circle, you should decide whether or not you want to participate in this.
Your participation has nothing to do with your salvation.
Yes.
Your participation.
Yes. You can't show your lot in with people who go with pagans and heathens.
Listen, the whole doggone Bahamas is pagan and heathen. Get out of this country then. Leave. Because I don't see no salvation here, man. Unless you find God for yourself. When you run on that track in Paris, you're not running just for running's sake. You're running for Howard. You're running to show your
But I'm saying to you, that's what I'm saying
You're running
to
for
you.
your nation. God ain't got nothing to do with that.
But I'm saying to you, I didn't say that there was the entire people walking out. I'm simply saying if it was Howard Grant, let's just say hypothetically, I showed
When Howard decides you ain't running nowhere fast.
No, I say shot put. Let's say shot put. Let's say shot put.
You ain't
Jesus
doing no
Christ, you need to stop. Okay? Shot put or javelin. Let's be decent.
But Howard,
okay?
what does that have to do with your salvation?
No. It's my conviction.
Okay, it's your
If
conviction.
I'm propelled to make a move,
You know what?
I will move.
Well, guess what? Let me reverse it for you then. And I respect what you just said to be true. It is what it is.
I can do what I have to
But
do.
guess what? Look at the other side of it if you were to open your mind. This is what I have a problem with Christians.
This is a problem with open mind right here.
No,
Let me
open
just
your
go.
mind. Listen, when I throw this javelin, when I take this sling and this stone and I throw this at Goliath, I make a statement. When I throw this javelin, you say, well, my God, how did he throw that so far? And you say, you know what? I want to give thanks to Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. Testimony. See, stop being a coward, going in a corner in a rat hole and saying, oh, they offended me. I ain't going there. No, stand up and show the world who you serve. Don't be scared.
I like how you turned it
If you
around.
alone got to go and take Goliath down, you take him down. If you alone got to stand in the fiery furnace, stand in the fiery furnace. But you show people that you may worship Zeus, you may worship Athena, but I serve, and I've seen in the Bible over and over again, I stand and I serve. The Apostle Paul, Agrippa said, you almost persuaded me. Why? Because I stand and I serve. You can have your sissy Jesus, you can have your straight Jesus, but I serve the risen Jesus. That's what I'm simply saying, boss. Make your statement and be strong.
So stay steadfast.
All the
Commit
time.
yourself.
All the time.
In the
If
lion's
you can be
den.
real, just be real.
In the lion's den.
Just be real.
I like what you're saying. I'm not going to fight you. I like it. Let me take a telephone call. Call on the line. Go ahead. Call on the line. Go ahead.
Hello, Howard.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
Yeah, I like this guy, Garth. You know, Garth, I agree with you 100%. Howard, I find it hard to call. You know, sometimes they listen to you, especially when God is on, right? And so, really and truly, it responded to Rasta man. You know, Rasta deals with a lot of aphorism. And so, the reason why it coined the term politician's paradise, right, is because I realized because the Bahamian people are civically lazy, right? And then I realized in the run-ups to the election, they would use the taxpayers' money to fund their, you see what they do. So, and we are so passive, right? So it is really ourselves who are oppressing ourselves because we are not doing anything. So we like how they're treating us. This is just the way I see it. I just can't accept it anymore at 60 years old. I just can't in another couple of days. But what I wanted to touch on was a chronology of BS here, right? As history progressed, humanity has been losing its freedom. Now, my neighbor just to the south of me, he explained to you the chronology of the Catholic Church infiltrating Christianity. So we know that Pope Urban II coined the term. He went from bellum castrum, which means war only, to bellum sacrum, which means holy war. The Latin word bellum means war. I knew that one. And sacrum, right? So what I'm saying is, how could a war be holy? So they coined these terms, these terminologies, right? And because Christianity has, as a result, someone said the Christian community isn't speaking out, but I think T.G. Morrison did do some lambasting here and there. But what I'm saying is, you don't hear the Christian community and the hierarchy in the Christian community because they have aligned themselves with the state.
Hold on now, you're talking about what I talking about.
Yeah, but
it's the two masters.
Yeah, but two masters is what lead to disasters.
Come on, talk to me. Let's talk.
Even within the Rasta community, you have the Nyabengi, the Trail Tribe, and the Bobo. I think the Trail Tribe actually accepts the divinity of Jesus Christ, or Yeshua, but it doesn't matter to me. But for me, my convictions would be my ideology and my philosophy. Now, these ideologies and philosophies are my conviction. They won't save me. They won't save mankind. So when people hear me speak, people say, oh, well, 52, you got this knowledge and you ain't rich, right? People are very dumb and stupid. Knowledge is free. You can go and seek knowledge without going to college, Knowledge was before college. They have brainwashed you. This is what, humanity is being hijacked mentally, physically, spiritually, everything. I don't have no time to worry about nobody, So what I'm saying is, let's look at this corruption problem in our country, okay? A fool texted right this morning and said corruption exists everywhere. It's not the matter. I keep telling these imbeciles, and I have to say it, because it doesn't matter where corruption exists, It's what you are doing and the mechanisms you're putting in place. So we know that people in high offices, I don't care if they have tenure or not, why can't you just monitor them if they have these positions? You have to wait until they could do something for you. They should be under monitor without them knowing anyhow. If you want to serve public office, then you should be scrutinized and be monitored publicly without you knowing. Then we'll know how righteous you are. We could say we demand a drug test for everybody, but everybody's a hypocrite to me. So what I'm saying is, we have officers who were retired under, I don't know if it's politically or whatever, and they came back and they was given a lump sum. You really think they should be still working full-fledged after receiving such funds? So what I'm saying is, we see the politicalization in this country, but we sit idly by and we want the country to get better. Now, as it relates to corruption, am I stupid for saying that if I am a police officer in hierarchy, firstly, Howard, do you think these people are really serious about solving corruption or putting any mechanism in place for corruption?
I don't think so.
All right. So if let me give you a scenario.
From what we
for the past 4 years, if you go to the complaint unit and you make a complaint and they don't see you come back there, you think they call you to find out what's going on?
No.
All right, so how they know police ain't come and intimidate you or threaten you for you not to come back? So what I'm saying is, this is one of that reason alone is the reason why you should have an independent body that you go to, and they will say, why you didn't come back? It was somebody intimidating you. So what I'm saying is, it's all a farce. All right, let me give you an example, Howard. They have the guys chronologically being killed allegedly with these. They can't be allegedly killed, right? With this robbery, right? But yet still they're saying there was just a theft. They call it a robbery. They're being picked up one by one. But you telling me now, in your prudency, you didn't have the ability or the mindset to say, let's put one of these fellas in police custody so we can protect him and find out actually what happened. But yet still they going one by one. You see a chronology. I said this earlier.
And that's what I'm trying to say.
When they come on the scene, they allow ambulance drivers, they say, look, you don't touch this man. What are we living? So it's all of our faults, my man. This place is a big disgrace. You see
I appreciate you,
and
man.
And we all willing to live a lie. All right? And which religion owns the Almighty God? So when I say things like, Rasta give me credit for calling the term politician's paradise, because that's what it is.
Yeah.
They have to. They don't disclose nothing to you, but they want you to disclose to them. They want you to inform
everything
for them. You see, but and I agree with the text with the police commissioner holding up the machine gun like that. That's not necessary. No, normally they be on the table and you take pictures of them. You see me?
Yeah.
So what's the reason for that? Come on, man. Give me a break.
I appreciate you, man.
A better place to live for our children to grow up.
Wow.
I want to throw up.
Thank you, man. 52. Let me see if I can read a couple more texts before we get out of here. It says, sure you can serve two masters. One just won't be happy. This is a text that's coming through. It says, please, the people, it's a privilege and not a right. This is a text that's coming through. So it's I'm sorry. Candace Cameron Brew is a Christian celebrity who did speak out against the interpreted as a blasphemous display. Okay, that's the text that's coming through. So it says, great show as usual. No woman could serve two men. You either serve your sweetheart or your husband. That's the text that's coming through.
A man could serve two women.
I don't know. I don't think I think
that's a show in itself, Howard.
we need to be able to have a deeper show, right? And talk about these things, guys. I appreciate the opportunity. I appreciate all these particular opportunities to be able to dive into national issues. Garth, I appreciate you coming, my brother. I enjoyed this.
Hey, vacation next week, Howard, man.
Vacation next week?
Oh, yeah, gone.
Wow. Guys, I hope you're getting ready for vacation. It's a beautiful day. Grateful to be in your company. 96.9 FM radio. Howard Grant, the foundation. We'll see you tomorrow. God spares. It's Small Business Thursday. Small Business Thursday. I have one slot available. 827-0111. 827-0111. Give me a call. I'll see you tomorrow right here on 96.9 FM.
The foundation. Foundation.